Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
Tuesday morning inside the Lock Shop. Thank you very much for joining us. Dusty and Hus back with you once again. We got more playoff puck picks coming your way. Lock Shop today and every day, brought to you by our great partners over at Coolbet. If you're not yet signed up for an account there, use the code LOCKSHOP when you do. Nice little bonus on initial deposit up to $100. That's coolbet.com. Lock Shop on the Nielsen Media Coolbet Network. Hus, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, man? Tough one last night.
Oh my God, I don't even know where to start. Yeah, listen, another incredible atmosphere, an amazing crowd. There's a Murphy's Law nature to the Winnipeg Jets come playoff time. Could not believe that this team has lost 7 straight at home.
Ooh.
And 7 of 24 games in 2.0. I mean, the fans bring it, and I mean, there's no better way of describing the Murphy's Law nature of this club, at least, than Mark Scheifele. I mean, you're already without Nikolai Ehlers from that cheap shot from Ryan Hartman. Josh Morrissey left last game after playing a minute, your number one defenseman. And then last night, 0-0 early in the first period. Jets hadn't had a shot on net yet. Blake Wheeler makes a beautiful pass. Scheifele in all alone on a breakaway. And not only doesn't score, but trips over Laurent Brossoit's leg, goes hard into the boards, tries to play one more shift, straight to the dressing room, and then you're down your number 1-2 center, however you want to call it. It was depressing. And now, I mean, the Jets are up against it, of course, down 3-1, looking to find a way to, get this series back to Winnipeg on Saturday. But I'll tell you what, as gloomy as it is around the peg right now, I imagine in Edmonton and certainly in Toronto right now, in the other 2 Canadian markets, the feeling is very much different. I know you got a huge game tonight, which we're going to get to, and I got to tell you.
How about the Leafs, man? Jeez.
Wow. Oh, my God. I mean, we were at one of the spots right beside the rink, and, of course, we had this 8:30 start last night, so we had plenty of time to watch that early game, and I walked out into the arena at 4-1, and all of a sudden in the first period saw on the screen at the building that this game was going to overtime. I could not believe it. Well, the Leafs, listen, they have an opportunity to erase all this misery, cut the entire first round narrative. But others would say this is just another opportunity for the Leafs to listen. I don't think Tampa's going to go away easily, but I am stunned that a team with that much playoff pedigree and that much experience has allowed 2 third-period leads to evaporate and have lost both of those games. It's a stunning turnaround in the series.
It is, and I wonder if you look at that and go, man, they were leading in the third in both these games. They can outplay them for 40 minutes. Like, can they do that a few more times? I had to look for both Jets fans and Leafs Lightning fans. If you believe in either of them completing a 3-1 comeback, the Lightning or the Jets, the number's the same, plus 900 to come back from being down 3-1. And I mean, I'm not going to sprinkle it, but Tampa, they're banged up. Vasilevsky has been below human so far in this series as well. I mean, if he can string together a couple of games, maybe they make it interesting. And now the 3-1 Heat is on Toronto, right? Like, if you lose game 5 at home, people are gonna be like, oh shit, it's happening again, which I'll say this, I don't think it's happening again. I do think Toronto closes this thing out. I think it's different this year than years past on both sides of this puck. But I was very impressed with them last night. Like, that was a huge comeback.
Well, it was, and as I said, if this one gets to 7 somehow, the nerves will be maxed out. But listen, I'm impressed with the way the Leafs have bounced back from that garbage first game they put forth, and hey, they're 1 win away from erasing. What is it? Nearly 20 years since they won a first-round playoff matchup. Looks like they'll have the Boston Bruins waiting for them next game. So, I mean, whatever. Get to that point first. One other series we quickly have to touch on. The Jersey Devils are back.
They are back big time, buddy. My
Wow.
God, I think they only allowed like 22 shots in that game. On the road in New York. Like, that's pretty impressive.
Road teams 4-0 in this Jersey Rangers series. And
I don't know what to do for game 5. I mean, I thought the Rangers would get her done last. I don't know what to do for game 5 in that series.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the Rangers have. I still think that, well, I mean, listen, we thought this was going to be a close series. I picked the Rangers, giving the nod to Shesterkin. It's 2-2 right now. I mean, I'm not sure that that changes a lot, but man, the Devils have got to be feeling great about themselves. And, I mean, I think they've learned a few things early on. It's a very young team, but maybe they can keep this going into game 5. We'll have to wait for that one. And of course, no Florida-Boston tonight as well, because there's an extra day between those two games. And I guess we're guaranteed of a game 6 in Edmonton, LA. And
yes, we are.
you're going to have plenty of time to talk about game 6 after they finish up tonight in E-Town.
Yeah, not 3 days, like full 3 days between games, not the old 2 days and the next game's 3 days from now. It's 4 days after. It's Tuesday. It's tonight. Look forward to being down there. And then the next game's not till Saturday. So I don't know how that factors in to a series, like having 3 days off, smack dab into it. Whoever loses game 5, it's okay. It's a 3-day reset. It's basically a 2-game series. You got to take both of them. So yeah, that's weird. It's strange to me, but that kind of ties into tonight here, Hus. So let's dive into this. I mean, there's only 3 games tonight, as you mentioned. No Florida, no Boston. So we'll pick them all. We've got an exclusive. I've got an Oilers exclusive that we'll get to. I'm kind of doubling down on what we did on Sunday. But Hus, where you want to start? Where are you going tonight?
Well, let's start with the Dallas Stars and Minnesota Wild, game 5 tonight. This should be a really good one. A huge win for Dallas in game 4 to reclaim home ice advantage. And now they're heading back down south to play in front of their home fans. Listen, I've been on Dallas from the beginning of the season, and I fully admit, sometimes emotional wagering is not recommended. However, I, like most people around here, have such a freaking hate on for the Minnesota Wild after what happened at the end of the season and the fact that Nikolai Ehlers hasn't been playing. I'll probably bet against the Wild at any opportunity and love every second of it. But listen, I just do think the Dallas Stars have way more firepower right now. I mean, they haven't been getting much from Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy, who are the 2 big offensive cogs. And I think Jake Ottinger is, has been playing phenomenally. Now, Gustafsson, we'll see whether he can, do some magic, keep things in the game. I guess we'll find out who's starting as well, because that the Flower might get another opportunity at some point after that ugly game 2. I just think that Dallas has regained the momentum in this series. I think they're a bit better of a team, and I think they can score more goals. So I actually like the number. I thought this would be more like minus 155 or minus 160. It's just minus 141 right now over at CoolBet. So we'll take the Dallas money line, and we'll watch that game, hoping that Minnesota takes an L. This Edmonton-LA series has been so much fun to watch. The one thing I think we can be guaranteed of is there's going to be plenty of goals. Sounds like Stewie Skins is going back.
Stuart Skinner's getting the net back. Yeah, he was anointed the number 1 guy for about the final month of the season, so it doesn't surprise me. Jack Campbell was great. I think Oilers fans are probably nervous every single time the Kings put a puck on net, and I think coaching staff was probably a little nervous as well. I mean, down the stretch, they did start him in 4 games, but he got Arizona, San Jose, Anaheim. And in 2 of those games, the Oilers had to score 5 goals to win. Like, great performance by Jack Campbell. You did your job. They would have been insane to start him in game 5 tonight. So they, in my opinion, they had to go back to Stuart Skinner.
Yeah, well, I mean, Skinner will get an opportunity to sort of make up for a tough one. He's got to be feeling good because he got bailed out by both Campbell and his teammates, and they avoided this being an elimination game coming back home. Let the goals keep going. I think the Oilers are finding their groove offensively right now, despite how good LA is, especially playing with the lead, or so we thought until they were up 3-0 at the end of the first period, and we both live betted a couple days ago. But I'm going to hit the over 6.5 on this one. We've basically been seeing a ton of goals. I could see another 4-3 or 5-4 game. So it's always fun to bet the over and watch these games, especially when you don't have any skin in it. So I'm going to go over 6.5 in the Edmonton-LA game. And the New York Islanders-Carolina game is funny. Right now, if you go to CoolBet and just click on it, the over-under, the total for this game is 5, which is incredibly low. Now, the over is minus 134, so I'll throw that in on the pick. But you have this at 5.5.
I did move it up, yeah.
At 5.5, and we're going to throw this in the exclusive at 5.5. Listen, the Islanders have no tomorrow if they don't win this game. I think that they will be, especially if they're down, I think they open it up way more than they normally do. And let's not forget that in an elimination series, I think the possibility of an empty net, multiple empty netters is increased. So let's get some goals in this game. I mean, there hasn't been a ton, and that's why the number is so low. But I sort of do figure that either the dam just breaks and Carolina runs them out, and we get the goals there, or it's somewhat tighter. The Islanders are trailing, and there's plenty of opportunities to get a couple freebies with the net pulled and their season on the line. So I couldn't believe it's plus 126 on the over 5.5. I mean, I think that is a nice value number. So we'll kind of throw that in. So we'll take the over the Carolina Islander game, take the over in the Edmonton LA game, and hitting Dallas on the money line tonight at minus 141.
Yeah, that Carolina Islanders over 5.5. You're right on the number here at plus 126. The last 3 games in this series have been 6 goals or more. I mean, it's covered the over the last 3 games in a row, and the number is still set at 5, and you can get over 5.5 at plus 126. So I do agree with you. If Carolina can strike here early, the Islanders are going to have to be more aggressive than they have been at other times. So Carolina and New York at plus 126. I'm just going to skip over that 5 and get straight to the over 5.5. I'm with you on Dallas money line. I mean, my whole thing the whole time has been I'm an Ottinger stan. Made a huge save at the end of that last game when they got the puck across and he came flying across. I mean, Ottinger is the real deal. What do people say now? He is him. Ottinger is him. That's what he is. So Ottinger and the Dallas Stars at minus 141. I haven't seen it confirmed yet. There's no way Minnesota would go to Fleury in this game, is there? I mean, I'll double check right now, but that would be quite the twist.
Yeah,
let's see here. Starting goalies. Let's see if it's confirmed either way. They just have Gustafsson listed as likely still. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. Ranta and Sorokin confirmed in that other game, obviously. Then the Edmonton Oilers. I'm on the Oilers in regulation. I initially sat down tonight. I was going to do my picks, and I was thinking I was going to sprinkle the Oilers here at minus 1.5, and I probably still will. But it's just plus 114. With how close the series has been, to just see the plus 114 on a 2-goal win, I was like, I don't know. What's the number on the Kings, actually? Plus 1.5. Let me take that and look at the other side on this one, because I thought it would be a little bit of a bigger number, buddy. Minus 134 plus 1.5. That's not a bad play with the way that this series has gone. But I do think, considering that they finally got to Korpisalo in Game 4, the way that game went, they're going to be back home here. Obviously, the other thing that I don't know how much this ties into it, but last year this series was tied at 2, exact same situation, and the Kings took Game 5. I mean, the Oilers don't want to have to win Game 6 and 7 again like they did last year. So I think the Oilers take care of business tonight. I said on my show this morning, I think it'll be the most decisive victory of the series so far, which isn't going out on a limb with how close these games have been. But I'm on Edmonton in regulation here, minus 133, and then an exclusive that I've got set up. I don't think it's up just yet, but I've sent it to the boys, and it's very close to what we rolled with on Sunday and cashed. I'm going to be on the over 1.5 power play goals again, Oilers to win again, Draisaitl with a goal again, but I'm not going to be a coward this time. I'm going to take McDavid 2 points or more. McDavid over 1.5. Last time I just had a McDavid point. So we'll see what that number is. Watch for it in the Lock Shop exclusive section. It'll probably be Ride with Dusty. Oilers to win, over 1.5 power play goals between the two teams. One of the goals from Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid 2 points tonight. That was paying plus 400 on Sunday, so it'd probably even be a little bit juicier with the extra McDavid points there as well. Although, mind you, the Oilers are at home this time, so it might be a little bit different. It might be close to the same number, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Dry to score. I've been hammering those night in and night out. Now plus 110. Seems to go down a little bit every game for obvious reasons.
But still plus money.
And I'll tell you what, I don't mind Zach Hyman. I think he getting that goal was big. He seems to score in bunches. He's a big, big part of this team right now. Plus 161 for Zach Hyman. Do not mind that as well. You mentioned the exclusive that you have coming up for the Oiler game in particular. We will drop another partner parlay and basically go with some of the picks that we've got right now. We're going to go with Oilers money line, so not necessarily in regulation.
Yeah.
Minus 221. It's a chalkier number. However, and we're also going to adjust the Minnesota Dallas game to 6.5 and take the under on that one at minus 191. But going back to our over pick on Carolina and the Islanders, the fact that that is a plus 126 number, when you put that in with the Dallas 6.5 under and the Oilers money line, it gets it up to plus 400, and that's before the guys maybe give us a little boost. So I would imagine this will probably get booked in and around the plus 425 range, maybe even as high as plus 440. So look at that. But it's Oilers to win in any event, including overtime, under 6.5 between Dallas and Minnesota, and over 5.5 in the Islanders Hurricanes game tonight. And that'll be up in the lock shop section in the exclusives, probably coming up in the next hour or so.
Really looking forward to this Oilers Kings game tonight. The series, I mean, even for those of you outside the market house, it must have been great to watch so far, right? Like, this has been great hockey. The Kings are a very good hockey team. Getting Fiala back and Velarde back. Offensively, they're pretty deep right now. That's why I do like your overplay over 6.5 tonight. I think that's a good play.
Man, overall, these playoffs have been absolutely incredible. I mean, no sweeps in the first round. You got 3 teams facing 3-1 deficits right now, including the Jets. And hell, even the Jets series, as disappointing as the 2 losses at home were. I mean, you had that
tight though, right? Like, yeah,
comeback, a double overtime game, another one that went right down to the wire before the empty netter late yesterday, and a hell of a start for Winnipeg as well. So, put it this way, if you're a hockey fan right now, you're winning big time because all of these games in these first round series have been so good. But you know what? It's funny, if your team's not in it after the first round, it does lose some of the momentum because I don't know how. I mean, there's so much great hockey every night. You've got 4 games pretty much every night, and it's been so good. You do sometimes lose a little bit as you get into the second and the third round off in the conference championship is when people kind of pump the brakes a little bit before getting ready for the Stanley Cup final. All I know is that enjoy these nights because we'll have a lot less games to talk about coming up next week once we're out of the first round. And you cannot go wrong with any of the entertainment that these series are putting forth right now.
Other content today from the Lock Shop boys here. If you want to subscribe to more podcasts, I'll have an Oil Stream in 5 popping up on our Oil Stream feed. Just a quick 5-10 minutes previewing that game in Hus. Winnipeg Sports Talk today. More reaction, I guess, to falling behind 3-1.
Yeah, big time. Trevor Kidd's going to jump on. We'll talk a little bit about the goaltending matchup. And I mean, Trevor's just a great guy to have on, a guy that's been in a lot of NHL dressing rooms, knows what it's like around a team after a couple tough losses, heading on the road down 3-1. So we'll get Trevor Kidd's thoughts on it. And Mike McIntyre, the Winnipeg Free Press. I know, talking to Rick Bonus earlier today, we'll get Mike's thoughts on the series so far, the predicament of the Winnipeg Jets, and, you know, what's to come on Thursday. And then beyond Thursday, if they're not able to force a Game 6 back here in Winnipeg on Saturday.
All right, so there you go. Winnipeg Sports Talk. Find that on YouTube. Hey, and if you're listening to the Lock Shop, whether you're watching on Twitter or you're watching on YouTube or you're just listening to the podcast, find us on Twitter at Lock Shop Bets. Find us on YouTube at Lock Shop Bets as well. Give us a sub over on YouTube. And of course, if you're watching and you want to listen, make sure you subscribe to our podcast feed. Tons of content over there. Just search the Lock Shop on all of our podcasting platforms. And playoff hockey will continue tomorrow, Hus. Enjoy the games tonight, buddy, and we'll talk then.
We should be good. Everyone out in Edmonton, have fun tonight.